So I'm flicking, as I'm doing this, I'm just flicking a bit of the cleanup onto the banks. Two reasons. One is because it helps the poo to roll out, but also because then I can expose the base so that when I'm ready I can level the base more easily.
Do you want to...
But when you do that, you've got to watch the angle of your fork, okay? Because you do not want to end up actually digging up the base layer.
That's what
I do. Yeah, you've got to just literally just very shallow, not with any force. And sometimes, you know, what you'll find is when you do flick into the banks that the person that did it yesterday didn't do a very good job, and lots of droppings will fall out the banks.
Yeah, I had that in. Yeah. Oh, no, I mustn't say this.
Yeah, but that's the problem, you see, is when you're not having the same. If you were doing it every day, you would do it properly because you wouldn't want to have a bad job the next day.
Yeah. Maybe we should come and do it the day before our
You're welcome.
Good idea.
But like with the school beds in there, on Sunday, they would have, might have even been the kids that did them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't know on a weekend. Because the horses don't stay in on a Sunday night, they go out in the field.
So those teeny weeny little bits, Faye.
Yeah.
I mean, are you going to bother taking all those off individually, or?
No.
No, just leave. Yeah.
Those bits there are staying in there.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah.
Yeah. When I level it, I might get rid of a bit more.
Few more. Yeah.
Really, as I say, if it's fallen through the fork,
okay.
you know, then it's.
Yeah.
The problem is, it is the poo that makes the bed manky. You know, so you do need to get rid of as much as possible, but at the same time, you know, you've got to work to time, and you can't be spending an hour getting rid of every tiny little thing.
You've got to draw a line as to
how much you can
how much you can physically take out.
Yeah. In some competition yards, horses don't go out, or they're only out to be ridden, and they'll be mucked, well, not really mucked out, but skipped out 10, 12 times a day. So they don't ever really get very dirty.
Right. Yeah.
Because they basically walk out almost as soon as it goes in. Right, okay, so I've got rid of pretty much all the poos I can see. I've flipped my cleaner, so now I need to level this because as you can see, it's all been pushed back a little bit. So again, don't dig in, that's really important. Just your top layer, and I'm going to flick it, move it to where it's missing, and then flatten it out. And as I do that, as you see, you might get a bit more food that you need. And don't worry that you can see I'm moving a little bit of wet forward. That's okay because I'm making the base. Okay, it's not the finished product.
For this stage, you want the dirtiest stuff wherever it happens to be, really, don't you?
Yeah, that's our solid base. Now, if you remember, if I stand on it, this has probably only got. You hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Squelch.
a bit squelchy. So what I'll do is.
Oh, and it goes that lovely colour.
And you get that lovely smell.
It's when it goes purple and it's really bad.
So I just
Purple? Yeah.
dig that corner out of it.
On the nice banks.
So sometimes when horses wee, it comes. It's
It's
purple.
It's like a rainbow.
Yeah, it's very, very odd.
And then you don't want to be filling that hole with clean because that's obviously where she wees. So if you just put nice clean stuff there, you're wasting it. So I've just scraped it off the rest. So that's got rid of the squishiest bit. That's probably was last taken out 4 or 5 days ago, that bit of a corner.
Right.
And every couple of weeks, you'll take all the wet out.
How do you keep track of when you're...
You don't need to. You just do it by how it feels. You know, if like I've got quite a lot of cleanish bedding to move around here. If I didn't, then I'd know that it was time to get rid of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Scarlett's the same. She's got one half that's always squelchy.
Yeah. She always weeds in this corner.
Yeah.
So you can just take a bit out of that each time. But when you put stuff in, always take it from this bank because it's wet underneath anyway.
Yeah.
So. Okay, there we go. Right, so now we've moved it around. We've got our base again, quite flat. A little hole there. So, thanks for coming, Rebecca.
I'm gonna get off.
You're going.
See you next week.
Ta-ra, Rebecca.
Oh, see you tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, are we still on?
Yeah, the only problem we might have is if the outdoor is frozen.
Oh, is there no more slots on the indoor? No.
I think it's not supposed to be frozen, so it should be alright.
No,
Yeah.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to put a bit of the clean down to cover the wet. Up there. And what I do is I dig a little bit from the base of the banks. Okay. And then fluff up your banks again. If you feel like you've not got a lot of bank, use a pitchfork because you'll probably find there's quite a lot underneath. Before you put a new bale in, make sure that you
fluff it up.
fluff it up properly.
It's amazing how much.
There is there that you don't realise. Yeah.
Where that bank is a little bit small, so I'm not going to take anything away from that bit. Who comes out? Whereas this bit of bank is quite big, so I'll hit some of that. Sorry, did I hit somebody?
No, it's all right. We're used to it.
Usually the dog.
It's usually the dog.
It's just oblivious to it. That it's just sat in it now.
See, so if you work, as you're first doing it and you think, oh, I haven't got all the poo, quite often you can get it when you're finishing it as well. So you don't need to worry too much. See, it's still coming out now.
I think that's what takes me the most is that when I fluff up the banks, load
Comes down, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's fine.
You think you're finished, and then all of a sudden there's a ton more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it hides.
actually, I think
But
I
if
definitely
you-
dig down too deep as well.
If you're a little bit more thorough when you're first throwing the cleanup
Right.
onto your bank,
Yeah.
Just
You won't get it there.
fork through your bank 3 or 4 times. If droppings are falling down, just do that like that,
Okay.
and you'll find that
Yeah, they are. Look.
most of them will come to the bottom. Okay. And we're trying to make the bank look the same all the way round, so it's nice and neat as much as possible. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And then obviously I'm going to brush and remove this.
Yeah.
Um,